America has always been a nation of differing opinions, but few events have been as divisive as the 2020 presidential election. The release of Special Counsel Jack Smith's report only poured gasoline on the already smoldering fire. This report, the culmination of months of investigation, alleges that former President Donald Trump engaged in a deliberate and illegal attempt to overturn the results of that election. The report sent shockwaves through the country. It painted a picture of a president so desperate to cling to power that he was willing to undermine the very foundations of American democracy. For many, it was a confirmation of their worst fears. For others, it was just another example of a political witch hunt. One thing is certain, the report reignited the debate about the integrity of American elections and the peaceful transfer of power. It raised uncomfortable questions about accountability, the rule of law, and the future of American democracy itself. The report and the reactions to it highlighted the deep divisions within American society. It underscored the fragility of democratic institutions and the importance of upholding the rule of law, regardless of political affiliation. At the heart of the Smith report is a 4-count indictment against Donald Trump. This indictment is not just a list of accusations, it represents a formal accusation of serious wrongdoing. The charges paint a picture of a coordinated effort to subvert the will of the American people. Count 1 focuses on conspiracy to defraud the United States. It alleges that Trump, along with others, knowingly spread lies about the election to interfere with the lawful process of collecting, counting and certifying electoral votes. This count strikes at the core of the democratic process, alleging a deliberate attempt to undermine a free and fair election. Count 2 alleges conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. This refers to the attempt to disrupt the joint session of Congress on January 6, 2021, when the electoral votes were being counted. By inciting his supporters to storm the Capitol, the indictment argues, Trump directly interfered with the peaceful transfer of power. Count 3 accuses Trump of conspiracy to deprive individuals of their civil rights. This count centers on the right to have one's vote counted fairly and accurately. The indictment argues that Trump's actions, by seeking to overturn the election results, effectively aimed to disenfranchise millions of American voters. Finally, Count 4 alleges conspiracy to interfere with the administration of justice. This centers on attempts to pressure election officials, both at the state and federal level, to alter election results or interfere with the certification process. These 4 counts, taken together, paint a damning picture of a calculated assault on American democracy. They represent some of the most serious charges ever leveled against a former president. The Smith report didn't mince words. It stated clearly and unequivocally that there was sufficient evidence to convict Donald Trump on multiple charges related to election interference. The report argued that the evidence was strong enough to secure a conviction in a court of law, if not for one crucial factor: Trump's status as a sitting president. The Department of Justice holds the long-standing position that a sitting president cannot be indicted, even for serious crimes. This policy is rooted in the belief that criminal proceedings against a president would paralyze the executive branch and undermine its ability to function effectively. This constitutional conundrum placed the DOJ in a bind. The evidence against Trump was compelling, yet the legal precedent preventing the indictment of a sitting president created an insurmountable obstacle. The report acknowledged this complex legal landscape. It argued that while the evidence met the threshold for prosecution, the DOJ was bound by its own interpretation of the Constitution. This legal grey area left many Americans frustrated and questioning whether justice could truly be served. He said, Trump and Smith respond. The release of the Smith report ignited a firestorm of reactions. Donald Trump, never one to shy away from a fight, responded with his characteristic defiance. He labeled the report a witch hunt orchestrated by his political opponents to derail his 2024 presidential bid. Trump vehemently denied any wrongdoing, claiming that his actions after the 2020 election were motivated solely by a desire to ensure the integrity of the electoral process. He characterized the report as a politically motivated attack designed to tarnish his legacy and silence his supporters. Jack Smith, the special counsel who oversaw the investigation, defended the report's findings with equal vigor. He maintained that the investigation was thorough, impartial, and free from any political influence. Smith emphasized that the evidence spoke for itself and that the report was grounded in facts, not partisan agendas. He urged the American people to read the report carefully and draw their own conclusions based on the evidence presented. Justice delayed, justice denied. Cases dropped after 2024 win. The legal battle surrounding the Smith report took a dramatic turn after the 2024 presidential election. Donald Trump, defying all expectations and riding a wave of populist support, secured a second term in the White House. This victory had significant legal ramifications for the cases against him. Upon his inauguration, the Department of Justice, now under the control of a Trump-appointed Attorney General, made a controversial decision. Citing the immense pressure and potential instability of prosecuting a sitting president, they announced the dismissal of all charges against Trump related to the Smith report. This decision sparked outrage among Trump's critics, who accused the DOJ of caving to political pressure and undermining the rule of law. They argued that the decision set a dangerous precedent, effectively placing the president above the law. Trump and his supporters celebrated the move as a victory against what they perceived as a politically motivated witch hunt. They argued that the dismissal of charges vindicated Trump and proved that the investigations were baseless. The dropping of the cases, however, left a bitter taste in the mouths of many Americans who believed that justice had not been served. A report under siege, legal battles, and sealed secrets. The release of the Smith report was not without its share of legal hurdles and controversies. Before it even saw the light of day, the report became embroiled in a legal battle over its publication. Trump's legal team sought to block its release, arguing that it contained confidential information and that its publication would prejudice any potential future legal proceedings. Judge Aileen Cannon, a Trump appointee overseeing the case, initially sided with the former president and issued a temporary injunction preventing the report's release. This decision drew criticism from legal scholars and transparency advocates who argued that it set a dangerous precedent by allowing the executive branch to suppress potentially incriminating information. The legal battle over the report's release dragged on for weeks, further fueling public interest and speculation about its contents. Eventually, after a series of appeals and legal challenges, a federal appeals court ruled in favor of transparency and ordered the report's release. However, even in its published form, the report remained incomplete. A significant portion dealing with Trump's alleged mishandling of classified documents remained redacted due to ongoing legal proceedings against two of his close associates. This sealed section, shrouded in secrecy, continues to be the subject of intense speculation and legal wrangling.